Hello from Slovenia. I've made it to Slovenia and I'm going to be spending the next week exploring this incredible country. As you can probably see, I'm in a tent, and that's because I'm also going to be spending this week tent camping in Slovenia. I've always avoided Europe in the summer because it's really crowded and really expensive, two things that I just don't like when I travel. But when I decided to come to Slovenia, I knew I wanted to come in the high season, summer, so that the weather was nice and I could explore all of the outdoor things that I wanted to see, but the hotel prices were really high. So I thought, why not do what I do at home and go tent camping? I'm staying at River Camping Bled, which is a campground just a 20-minute walk from the town of Bled and the famous Lake Bled. I knew I wanted to base myself here because it's really central to all of the outdoor activities that I want to do, and this campground is really nice. It has all the amenities of staying in a hotel like pools, a restaurant, a bakery, laundry. The only difference is I come back and stay in my tent instead of a hotel room, which is fine for me because I'm really used to camping and I like it. But really, the best part about this is for 7 nights in this campground, I'm spending the equivalent of what it would have cost me for 1 night in a hotel in the town of Bled. This is my first morning here, and I'm about to head into Bled to start exploring. When I got to the lake, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was in person. I decided to walk the entire loop and get some photos. Then I went to take the Pletna boat to Bled Island. These wooden boats have been used on Lake Bled since the 16th century and are still handcrafted by local families. Each boat is rowed by a Pletna oarsman, and their special technique called stayrudder takes years to master. When you arrive on the island, you'll climb the famous 99 stone steps up to the church. The Church of Assumption is a Baroque-style building from the 17th century. You can enter, but I didn't want to pay the entrance fee, so I decided to just walk around the 2.5-acre island. Found an iced coffee, which is like unheard of in Europe. It's wonderful. After about 30 minutes, everyone goes back and boards the same Pletna boat they came on, and then I walked over to the market to grab some lunch. So I found a little spot by the lake to sit and have a little picnic. I'm gonna eat my sandwich. You could not ask for a better view to sit and enjoy lunch. After my picnic, I walked over to Soča Bled to ride the summer toboggan. This is an alpine coaster that goes down the hill next to the shore of Lake Bled. One run will cost you 13 euros, and the line takes about 45 minutes to get through. And before you go down, you must go up. Not gonna lie, a little terrified. Not a fan of the ski lift or heights, but the sled looks so fun. I think it's totally worth it. The views from the top really are amazing, and the line was super short. It only took like 10 minutes to get through, and then I was on the sled. I've done alpine coasters before, but none with a view this great. Oh. This goes like really fast. The ride was so fun, and I honestly wish I had bought the 2-ride ticket because I would have done that again. I walked back over to the lake and decided to walk up to Bled Castle to get some cream cake with a view. But I was not prepared for all these stairs. Apparently, you have to pay the castle entrance fee to go in to the restaurant. And I didn't want to pay 18 euro to go in the museum that I don't really have any interest in. So I climbed the hill for nothing. After my climb up and down, I just decided to grab a quick tasty dinner by the side of the lake. before grabbing the bus back to camp for the night. Today, I'm starting my day with a 30-minute drive through some of the most beautiful countryside and villages I've ever seen to Lake Bohinj. I've made it to Lake Bohinj, and I just did some walking around the lake, and now I'm gonna go grab lunch, and then I'm gonna rent a paddleboard, and look how calm and still this water is. I'm super excited to get out on it. I grabbed some delicious bread and avocado from the market and made avocado toast before heading over to rent my paddleboard. It is so pretty out here. I was on Lake Bled yesterday, and it was so busy with the Pletna boats and so many people in kayaks and paddleboards. This has a completely different vibe. There's hardly any people. The water is perfectly calm. It's lovely out here. I'm so glad that I came. Got in the car just as it started raining. Perfect timing. It started raining even harder, and I had my fingers crossed it would stop before I got to the Vintgar Gorge to hike. So I'm in the Vintgar Gorge. You have to wear a helmet. And of course, it started pouring raining right as my timed entry happens. Luck is not on my side. And there was some thunder and some lightning. But they didn't close the gorge, and they're like, just go. Luckily, I have a raincoat. I knew it was gonna rain today, but my backpack was unprotected. I didn't think there was gonna be this much rain. But they were selling ponchos for €2 in the little gift shop, so grabbed one so that my pack is safe, and it'll make this hike a little bit more enjoyable. The Vintgar Gorge is a stunning natural canyon only a few miles from Lake Bled, which makes it a really popular day trip. The mile-long wooden path takes visitors through the gorge along the Radovna River with its crystal-clear turquoise waters. The rain has not stopped. I'm like drenched, but it actually kind of worked out because normally this is really crowded. Yesterday it sold out before I bought tickets, and today there's hardly anyone here because they didn't want to walk in the rain. Score one for the Oregonians who are used to this. Just as I made it out of the canyon, the rain stopped and the sun came out. I'm out of the gorge, and now I'm walking through the prettiest pasture land, people's yards, and I see cows up there and tons of wildflowers and the mountains in the background. This is gorgeous. I drove to the little village of Radovljica near my campground to try some traditional Slovenian food. This is called cevapi, and it is meat and onions cooked in a bread with paprika sauce. It was delicious. I've made it to the capital city of Ljubljana. I decided to take a bus here instead of driving in the car because I would have had to park at a park and ride and then take a bus from the park and ride anyway. And from Bled, it was only €1.30 to ride the bus to Ljubljana. I am signed up for a free walking tour at 11. It's currently 10:45, so I'm just hanging out in the square, admiring these beautiful buildings, waiting for my tour to start. One of the first things I do in any new city is a free walking tour. This is a great way to get the layout of the land, see sites that you would have never seen before, and really get the insider tips on a new city. Plus, you're not committed to the €30 or so for a prepaid tour. Our tour guide took us to some amazing places and even took us to a shop where we got to sample some blueberry wine. It's strong. It's very good though. She also shared lots of interesting facts and stories about the city. The guides are always super knowledgeable. Definitely tip them well. I always pay at least €10 for these tours. They are totally worth it. For lunch, I just grabbed a quick little tuna sandwich, and then I decided to head over to the castle. You can walk up to the castle for free, but I decided to take the funicular, which is only €6 round trip. And I love going up a funicular. You get incredible views. The castle is free to enter. There are some areas that are paid attractions, but you can walk around and explore at absolutely no cost. Plus, you'll get some of the best views of the city. Something you must do when you visit Ljubljana is to take a boat tour. The city looks completely different from the river, and it's a great excuse to rest your feet for an hour. Back by the bus station, I found a Mexican restaurant and I had to try Slovenian Mexican food, which was really good, but odd it was served with French fries. Then I hopped on the bus back to camp for a relaxing evening. This morning, I took the free bus from the camp back into Bled because there were a couple things I didn't get to do the other day. My first stop was Kavarna Park to try the original Bled cream cake. The view at this restaurant is stunning, and it's one of the cheaper places to try the cream cake. They say that a really good cream cake jiggles, and this one definitely did. It was a little hard to eat though because it has a crusty top and bottom, and I could not get my fork through it. It's really good. And they didn't skimp on the ice in my drink, which I loved. This whole thing cost me €10.30. The next thing on my agenda was to swim in the lake. This was so refreshing. It's so much hotter in Slovenia than I anticipated, and I spent the entire afternoon here. Afterwards, I grabbed some dinner and then walked the 30 minutes back to camp. Today, I'm driving 2 hours over to visit the town of Piran. Piran sits on the small stretch of Adriatic Sea that belongs to Slovenia. And honestly, this place is gorgeous. It's a walled city that looks like it belongs in Croatia or Italy. I love all the different colors on the buildings, and the ocean here is gorgeous. So something really cool about being in Piran is when you stand on the edge, you're standing in Slovenia, and on one side you can see Croatia, and on the other side you can see Italy. So 3 countries at once. It was so hot outside, and since I was practically in Italy anyway, I had to stop and get a gelato. Before leaving, I had to head back down to the ocean and take a dip. The ocean is fantastic. After testing my buoyancy, I had to head to my next stop of the day, Prajama Castle. Prajama Castle looks like something out of a fairy tale. Built right into the side of a 123-meter cliff, this Renaissance castle is over 800 years old, and the caretakers have done a great job restoring a lot of the detail of the castle so you really feel what it was like 800 years ago, including the dungeon. The most impressive and famous thing is definitely the cave at the back of the castle, though. You're not allowed in unless you're on a specialized tour, but you can look. Also, don't forget to ring the bell for good luck. The castle cave was pretty cool. I loved that they had an audio guide you could download for free on your phone, and they had Wi-Fi, so you didn't have to use any of your data, but it was actually really cool. It's the biggest castle in the world built into a cave. My next stop was a trip into Postonia Cave. So I completely forgot that it's really cold in the caves, and they say bring a sweater or something, and I didn't really plan on visiting the caves today, and I didn't have a sweater with me, and it's like 50 degrees down in the cave, but I had a sun hoodie, so I put my sun hoodie on under my shirt, and I look quite ridiculous, but that's how it is. When you enter, you're given an audio guide and then boarded onto an electric train that takes you down into the cave. Postonia is one of the largest and most famous cave systems in Europe. It stretches 15 miles. Visitors ride this little electric train for the first half of their journey before disembarking and exploring on foot. The walking portion of the tour lasts about an hour, and visitors are guided through several vast chambers filled with stalactites and stalagmites that are unlike any other I've ever seen. After exploring all the public areas, we again boarded the train for the ride out. This morning I headed out bright and early on the same route I took a few days ago towards Lake Bohine, but today my destination is a little different. So I'm in my car waiting to load up on a car train that's going to take me over to the Soča Valley. It's a 45-minute train ride, and it saves me from driving the hour and 45 minutes to Tolmin. The car train leaves several times a day, but you have to get there early. I arrived like 45 minutes before the train left, and I was second to last from not making it on the train. I'm on the train. This is crazy. This is the only passenger car train I've ever heard of, and when I saw a video of it, I knew that it's something I had to do while I was in Slovenia. You can't see me and you probably can't hear me, but we're going through the darkest tunnel. That tunnel was like 8 minutes long. That was a long one. I think that's the longest tunnel I've ever gone through. After the tunnel, the views were so good. I had so much fun on this train because I didn't have to pay attention to driving, and I just got to sit back and enjoy the view. Plus, this cut through the mountains and saved me an extra hour of driving. After all the cars disembarked at Mostna Soči, I headed over to the Tolmin Gorge. The Tolmin Gorge is a lot smaller, but very similar to the Vindgard Gorge that I hiked through the other day. However, since it wasn't raining, it was more crowded here. After exploring the gorge, you can hike up for a viewpoint and to see Dante's Cave. This cave is said to be the inspiration for Dante's Divine Comedy. You can't go inside, but you can look. And the views of the gorge are beautiful. My next stop for today is about an hour away in the Soča Valley. This area is one of the most beautiful in Slovenia, known for the incredibly clear turquoise waters of the Soča River. It's cold. Despite the temperature, I loved this place and I wish I had more time to explore, but I had to get moving because I was about to drive through the Vršac Pass. Vršac Pass is the highest mountain pass in Slovenia, and it's known for its 50 hairpin turns, which are all numbered. In addition to all the hairpin turns, the road is also quite narrow, and you have to share it with some large vehicles and cyclists. There are several stops for viewpoints along the road, including the top with some dramatic views and some lambs. Google Maps failed me on that mountain. There was like one place I wanted to stop, and when I stopped at the peak to look, I didn't know that the place I wanted to stop was like right next to that because I looked at my Google Maps and it said that it was like further on, and it wasn't. It was right there, so I missed it. So I didn't get to stop at the Russian chapel, but I'm not really that sad about it. I made it down safely, and that is what is the most important to me. And now I'm in Kranjska Gora at Lake Jansna. So I'm going to go walk around and look at this lake. Just like every other body of water I visited in Slovenia, Lake Jansna was gorgeous. I can't get over how pretty Slovenia is. I think between Lake Bled, Lake Bohinj, and Lake Jasna, if I was traveling with little kids, I would definitely pick Lake Jasna. It's small enough that you can see your kids no matter where you are, and it's just got such a chill vibe. It's very relaxed. Today was my last day in Slovenia, and I'm honestly really sad. This country is incredible. I knew it was going to be good, but I really didn't know it was going to be this good. This will not be my only visit here. There are still so many things that I want to see and do, so I will be back. If Slovenia is not already on your list, it really should be. This country is absolutely wonderful. I have nothing but good things to say about it. And I also have nothing but good things to say about my experience camping. This campground has been fantastic, and my entire camping experience has been really, really good. So I will definitely be camping in Europe again. I'm already planning a camping trip to Scotland in my head, and there's probably lots of other camping destinations in Europe in my future as well. There's a lot of things that I think I will do differently next time, and I'll learn and get better at it every time. But now it's time to say goodbye to Slovenia, and tomorrow morning I am off to Venice. I flew in and out of Venice for this trip, and I'm super excited that I get to spend a couple of days there because I've never been. Thank you so much for watching and coming along on my Slovenia adventure with me. I will see you in the next one.